Hey everybody, Jade here. I just wanted to make a quick video about the newest Game Boy Advance SP system that I'm using. This is the type of system that I would recommend if you're in the market for a Game Boy Advance SP. There's a couple things about it. Obviously you can see that it's a clear, transparent system, but that's not the main feature. That's not like the benefit of getting this particular type. So a lot of people on eBay or other websites or Mercari will either make from scratch Game Boy Advance SPs, or they will find old ones and replace the shells and the housing. But when they do that, they also tend to improve the screen. So, as most of you know, the original Game Boy Advance SP came out in a model that was called AGS 001, which had a front lit screen which was pretty dim. And when you pushed the little sun button, it would go from no light to the backlight, or I'm sorry, the front light, which is pretty dim and you can't really see the screen that well. I mean, it's better than nothing, because for once you could finally play your Game Boy games in darkness, but you still really couldn't see the picture very well. It's very, very dim. And then eventually they changed it to the AGS 101 model, which had a backlit screen, and when you pressed the sun button, it went from on normal to on bright. So you got a much better picture and just, brightness. So a couple things. So first of all, the reason I went with this, which you can get it in a couple different colors. There's a blue, there's like a neon yellow, some people call it green. To me it looks like highlighter yellow. There's this, which is pink. There's a couple of different colors, but they're all clear, transparent. And the reason I like that particular type is because if you've ever gone into a game store or you've browsed eBay and you've looked at a Game Boy Advance SP system, they were made of metal or plastic, I'm not really sure, but then they were painted just very, very cheaply with a coat of whatever color system you got. So if you got a, flame red SP or a Pikachu yellow, whatever, if you look at them nowadays, like the used ones that have been out there for like 10-20 years, they are scratched to hell. The paint has worn away. There are visible scratches. A lot of times around the hinges, the colors start to fade from opening and closing. The main top part right here, like usually right in the middle, all the paint is worn away. Just visible scratches. They just look horrible. Horrible, horrible. And I guess that's just because Nintendo went with cheap materials. Cheap paint, cheap metal, cheap plastic, whatever it was. So the nice thing about these is that there's no paint. It is just colored clear plastic. So I suppose you could probably scratch this if you like took something sharp and like gouged it, but other than that, you're not going to get those surface scratches that are noticeable. You're not going to have any paint wearing off on, top or bottom, front, back, whatever, inside. Plus it just kind of looks cool that it's clear, and some of them actually glow in the dark. I don't believe this one does, but I know the neon yellow / green one glows in the dark, and I believe the blue one glows in the dark as well. So that's kind of cool. Second, we talked about the AGS 001 and the AGS 101 having different screens. Well, this has been replaced with an IPS screen, so it's even better. So I still have my Mother 3 cartridge in there. So if we're to turn this on, you already start out with a brightness level that's pretty much brighter than any other Game Boy out there. But what you have here now is if you press the sun button, it's not just a toggle between two different brightness settings. It's actually, you can push it. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I think there's actually more than 10. So this is the dimmest. So this is like the lowest brightness that you can get on it, which is still backlit, but just very dim to conserve battery life. And then you have 2, a little bit brighter, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then it drops back down. So you have 15 different brightness settings that you can choose excuse me, to not only suit your style of how bright you want it, but also to conserve battery life. Sorry. So yeah, you can see it gets really, really bright, but obviously the brighter it is, the more battery it'll drain, but these things have pretty good battery on them anyway. That's one other thing that you usually get with these models, is not only do they rehouse the entire shell and give you a better screen, but also the battery that's in here is this one. So this one's an 850 milliamp hour. I think the standard was like 800, but you can get even bigger batteries. But basically, like, it just helps it last longer, and it just uses the same Game Boy Advance SP power adapter as it always has. But yeah, like, I really, really think this is the best kind that you can possibly get, because not only does it have the better battery and the 15 levels of brightness on the IPS screen, which I believe is glass, by the way, instead of plastic. But also on this one, I noticed compared to the two other Game Boy Advances I have, the speaker is a lot louder. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, like, on video. Is my volume slider even all the way up? No, it wasn't. Okay, let's see here. Let's get into the game. So when I was playing through Mother 3 originally on my other Game Boy, I noticed that the volume was always pretty quiet. And, like, if there was any other noise going on in the room, I basically couldn't hear, like, the music and the sound effects. But let's load this. Okay, I'm at the end of the game. I've already beaten it. This is my last save file, so, you know, kind of spoilers, but I'm not really going to show... I'm not going to go ahead. I'm just going to go backwards and see if I get into a battle, because then you can hear the music. So I don't know if you can tell, but, like, the music is a lot louder than my other SP that I had. I don't know if any of my other videos showed off me playing with the sound and stuff for comparison, but yeah, so I mean, you get louder sound because they probably put a better speaker in there. You get 15 levels of brightness, a better screen, better battery life, and you don't have to worry about paint coming off or scratches. I've had this for a little while now. It has stayed in pretty much mint condition. Maybe if you were to, like, throw it around in a box or in a bag and, like, have it scratching up against other stuff, you might eventually see, like, you know, scratches in the housing if it gets actually, like, carved into. But as far as, like, the scratches that... Just go on eBay. Just look up... Just type in Game Boy Advance SP Pearl Pink or Pearl Blue, and just look at any of the old used ones. They will have discoloration on the hinges and the front and the back of them, and even on the inside around, like, where the buttons are, like where your fingers kind of rest around the buttons, so like over here and like around these buttons, they'll just be like faded off paint and just scratches, and they just look so bad. Something like this is going to last you a lot longer and look a lot better, and it's just better in every way. It's got the better screen, the better battery, better sound, and they're not, like, super expensive. They can be $200 depending on the seller, but I've found ones for as cheap as, like, $149, and I saw another one for, like, $170. So anywhere from, like, $150 to $200. But if you look long enough, you can find one that's like closer to the $150 range, which is crazy because if you walk into a used game store, like a retro game store, they're just selling the regular Game Boy Advance SPs, like the ones that are all scratched up, the old, like, Nintendo ones. The standard AGS 001s go for like $79, I think, and then the AGS 101s go for almost $200, and then it can be more if it's like a special edition. So if it's like Pikachu or the Who Are You edition, or the one that looks like an NES. Those ones, they usually bump up the price by like another $30 or whatever. So yeah, like for that much money, you might as well just go on eBay and get a brand new one that's been made just for you. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get it because they have to like, they don't actually have it ready. They make it like it's custom built to order. So like if you don't want black buttons, like I wanted this one with just the plain black buttons, because they normally have gray buttons, but I wanted black. But if you wanted to customize it, a lot of people will do that for you. So you can pick like a yellow shell or a blue shell or pink, whatever, and then you can change the buttons here to be whatever you want. And that's just really, really cool, because then you have a system that's personalized to you, and it'll last a lot longer, and you'll just be really happy with it. So I just kind of wanted to show this one off. I do have a couple other systems, but this is the one I wanted to focus on for today. So that's it for this one. That actually kind of dragged out for a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. I thought this video was going to be less than 10 minutes, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I will try to make some more videos on some of the other, I don't want to say modded systems, but like some of the custom, like I have a Game Boy Color that's transparent blue, and it's got an improved screen so that it's backlit, which like Game Boy Color never had a backlit screen. Closest they had was the Nintendo Game Boy Light, which was only available in Japan, and that had like a bluish screen that would kind of glow, but we never got that in the US. So that's it, guys. Until the next one, I will see you later.